We've got another 2022 winter update from Minnesota, and the story isn't just the sheer number of crashes, but also the number of semi-truck crashes, jackknives, and semis rolling over. Let's take a closer look. We'll get to some pretty wild semi-activity in a moment, but first take a look as two cars in two separate incidents blast into these concrete walls. The latter comes in at a more shallow angle, lowering the risk of injury. Thankfully, in the second crash, it looks like they ended up in pretty good shape. Then, the semi in red is going to lose it big time. But if you take a closer look, you'll see this area is really pretty slick with a couple other cars off the road. And now we've got a semi in the back that's coming in with no traction. And look on the far left side of your screen, even if you rewind it back, there's a pedestrian over there who has to run out of the way. We're only a minute into this video, and this is our sixth crash on camera. Another semi hurtling into the median. And take a closer look. It got wrapped up in the median cables, preventing it from blasting into those one or two oncoming passenger vehicles. We've seen hundreds of crashes on camera and have yet to see those cables break. This is crash number 7 and 8. Before this finishes playing out, we'll have a total of 4 vehicles involved. The fourth, cars number 3 and 4, goes all the way across. They end up going all the way across the ditch, and unfortunately, that's our secondary collision. Crash number 9 is on I-394 heading into Minneapolis, one of the higher known crash locations, but some of that has to do with the volume of traffic. Next, crash number 10 up in Duluth, a good example where following distance and maybe a little slower speed will prevent that Chevy Tahoe from that secondary collision. This white pickup first went to the right, overcorrected into the left wall. Now they're going to go back across 2 lanes of traffic and force that passenger car off the road, unfortunately. Crash number 12 is a little hard to see, but notable for how much energy and speed they carry with them off-road, and maybe they roll end over end. Thankfully, it looks like they're not seriously injured, which kind of surprised me. Maybe a little lucky on this one. I-35W near Hennepin Avenue. This S-curve is a frequent location for crashes and semi-crashes. This FedEx double semi-trailer is going to go fed up and roll over. We recently published exclusive dashcam video of a FedEx truck partially falling off a bridge. We recommend checking out that crash breakdown. We promised you a video heavy on semi-trucks this winter, and this incident makes you wonder if they might have been distracted. Incident number 15 is a vehicle off-road, but we wanted to boost your spirits with an example of a driver working hard to get back on the road and getting some generous help from the tow driver to get them pulled out. Couple different angles on this, but you can see the tow driver going along them in parallel and eventually winching them out once they got to a better spot. Number 16, tell me if this doesn't look familiar. It's I-35W at Hennepin Avenue again. Nighttime, and we've got cars blocking lanes of traffic on a freeway, which is never a good sign. Crash number 17, bottom left corner, a little hard to see, but as near as we can tell, the pickup ran into the semi that was in the right lane, and from the looks of it, a fair amount of front end damage. Then, back to Duluth, home of a trading company, and you've seen this spot before, but I don't know what to tell you. Crash number 18, the sedan is going to go cross a lane of traffic, run into that center wall, but looks like no serious injuries. They were able to get straightened out and then move onto the right shoulder. They're driving just fine until they get some uneven traction, and then there's the point of no recovery. The snow is just going to pull them to the right and hit with a little more force than we'd like to see. Crash number 20, there's no wall with this one, but there is a little bit of a holding pond down there. It's all frozen right now, and maybe the potential for a little bit of a rollover, it looks like. Thankfully, slower speeds by the time they actually went over. This is another location that we've covered before. We've seen multi-vehicle crashes here before, for sure, and it's a great example of how just kind of gentle steering when you get in those situations so you don't oversteer. Thankfully, they just went gently into the ditch. Just need someone to pull them out. This location, we've got a special coming up on this one. We definitely saw a pile up here. We haven't even published it. Thankfully, they did not take anyone else with them. Next, we'll go to St. Paul. And what you're really seeing is with Minneapolis and the Twin Cities being so far north, it'll be minus 10 in the morning. That's 42 degrees below freezing, so salt is completely ineffective at that point. Ice is going to build up just about anywhere. So any freeway or major highway that has a curve in it is going to put you at risk. And if you're keeping score at home, that's crash number 25. This is crash number 26 involving actually two vehicles. And next is crash number 27. I think we'll zoom in on this one because you can see just how precarious it was as they almost went over that concrete barrier on the right side. Troopers out on that one. And here's Lowry Hill Tunnel, one of the most crash-prone locations in the metro, especially on our metro highways, I-94 into Lowry Tunnel. And you've seen something like this before. The car is going to lose traction, overcorrect into the concrete wall. But what we really wanted to highlight is that the car following could have slowed their speeds or had a bigger following distance. Don't let one driver's mistake also be your mistake. Here's crash 30. It's one more car into the wall. We got a close-up of it, but not a great angle, but that car looks like it's totaled out. MN 100 northbound into 694. This car lost control. They're going to take another car with it. Now we've got cars coming to a full stop on a curve, on a bridge deck. Dangerous situation. Oh my gosh. It's got to be distracted driving, right? That's the only thing I could think of, or a medical issue, but I'm at a loss for words. Pickup truck, they're going to lose control, hit the car next to them, they overcorrect, they also managed to hit the sound barrier wall. That's crash 33, I think. This is crash 34, and it's hard to see, but they are very close to going over that wall and brought a lot of speed into that one. We've been here before, one more car into the wall, and great driving, I think. Yep, great driving on these other vehicles to avoid a secondary collision. Whatever caused this one, it happened off camera, or stay in the game if you can and apply your brakes after a collision so you don't just continue to careen out of control. That's Topgolf on your left. This is Highway 252 northbound in the North Metro. But Highway 252 has highway speeds with stoplights and intersections, and roads like these across the United States are especially dangerous. MnDOT has plans for changes in 2026 or 2027, but I think just environmental review takes a couple of years. I think that's required by law, so they have to do it, but there are always trade-offs, and unfortunately, Ileana, an 8-year-old, was killed there just a few months ago. But let's focus on the helpers. This is MnDOT's first team. They're highway helpers. You have these in a lot of metro areas across the country, but I think Twin Cities really has a fantastic team, and the signboards are amazing. Some of the best, most visible signboards and most adjustable. You can get them to say just about anything. And this one ended with a good story, able to help get this pickup back on the road. And here are Minnesota State Troopers getting this vehicle safely back on the road as well. In the past year that we've been doing this, we've seen these MnDOT cameras capture everything from wild police chases to now almost 1,000 crashes on camera, and they even caught a tornado on camera this spring. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. As a reminder, the original source for these traffic camera videos is the Minnesota Department of Transportation, and this channel, MN Safety, is not associated with any governmental agency. We're just citizens who want to promote public safety using real-world examples.